I don't think it's true. This is what happened. I was online yesterday because that's where all the best information comes from, the internet. And I was scrolling around YouTube or something, and it's like, hey, you want to take an autism test? What a great way to spend my day off, I thought. Actually, what I thought was, well, I've always been curious if my brain functions differently, and people have told me my entire life, like, oh, you're kind of weird, or stuff like that. Nothing crazy, not like anything alarming. But I was like, you know what? Whatever, I'll take it. I didn't click on the link I saw. That's just stupid. I went straight to Google. And I said, all right, I'm going to search up and not click the first one, the sponsored one. I'm going to click on something different. So I scroll down. One looks pretty legit. Clicked on that one. Took the 10 it's an AQ test. So I took the short one, the 10 one. I was like, let me just see if I qualify. And then I had a 6 out of 10. And they're like, oh, most people that score 6 out of 10 have signs of being on the spectrum. I said, okay, guess I'll take the bigger test, the 50 question one. Now, here's the part that I'm still kind of iffy on. Well, a lot of it I'm still kind of iffy on. One, I had two other, I didn't have them. One of them did it on their own. The other one I asked, I said, hey, could you take this test too to see what your results are? One person on the 50 questionnaire, the AQ test, 50, AQ 50, whatever it's called, they scored a 12. The other person scored an 8. My score was a 31. Now, to give people context who don't know what those numbers mean, man, looks like I need to sleep, who don't know what those numbers mean, if you don't have autism, you're usually landing for a male around 15, the 15 range. Females around, I think it was 17, maybe 17.8. Now, if you do go over, and this is where it gets a little hairy, some websites say if you go over 25, that you have signs of being on the spectrum. Some say if it's over 30. Either way, I'm at 31. Either way, I'm double one person and almost 5 times more than the other person that took the test yesterday. So either way, I've got the highest score of the day. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, I'm 39. If I'm 39 with autism, which would be, I think, considered high functioning if I truly do land in that low 30 range, because it has to be over 36.5 to be considered severe. So if I do truly have autism, what is it going to change at this point in my life? Probably nothing. I might understand my reactions to things a bit more, but it will benefit me to actually go to see someone professional and talk about it and learn. Or is it just going to be like, okay, yep, you're certified autistic and nothing we're doing for you. Go about your day. So that crossed my mind. Do I actually go to a doctor and say, hey, this is what I don't know, just doing it for fun, doctor. Now I want to find out for real. And this is be like, why the fuck were you online looking that up? But whatever. Maybe peace of mind. I don't know. Then the next thing starts circling through my mind, which is, how common is it? Well, apparently it's only 2.2% of people have autism. Now, I don't know if that means severe autism or just any kind of autism, but I was thinking to myself, that can't be. I can't fall in that 2.2%, can I? That seems like a very low number. And how do I know that my answers aren't just based on my personality? Is it autism, or is it me being like just this weird personality that I'm very set in my ways with certain things? I can make eye contact all day long, so that's not a problem. As I look away, I can make eye contact. I've been in retail sales for years now, so I'm used to making eye contact. I can kind of hold conversation with people to a point. Like, there will be a point where I'm like, this is boring. I have nothing else to say. I can't just make stuff up out of thin air all day long. But for the most part, it's been my job to make conversation with people. So that's why I do it. I don't enjoy it. So there's that. Like if you're saying, hey, let's go to a party. I hate parties. Gatherings of people where I don't know them and I don't want to know them, it's the worst thing in the world. It's just awful. So maybe a little bit of like something there, right? That's a trait, but it's not the same. Because I was looking at the traits and it's like, well, they don't, people with autism, even high function, don't like to make eye contact and this and this and this. And so I don't have a lot of those traits. I have like just quirks about me, but I don't feel like it's necessarily the same. Like one is saying that people with autism like to be very orderly in their routine, which I get it. I have the same routine. I do it all the time. I order the same food from places, things like that, but I'm not like extremely overly picky. There are things that I definitely enjoy more than the other, but they don't set me on edge if it doesn't happen. Now, let's just say that there are things that get a little bit frustrating. Like, let's say we have to go to the doctor's tomorrow, and tomorrow comes, and all of a sudden you can't find your keys, and it's like, well, your keys are always in the same spot. Why don't you just put them in the same spot? Well, this time I decided to put them in a different spot. Then I'd be a little frustrated, right? Like, we got to go to the doctor's. We're going to be late, and now you got to decide to put your keys in the wrong spot. That's frustrating. But I feel like that's a normal, just everybody human reaction. It's like, come on, just do the same thing, and you get the same result, right? Hopefully. That's normal. Maybe? Do you tell me? So there's things anyway. I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I just don't know if I believe it. Do I take more online tests against different results, same results? Do I go, here, this is going to be a fun part. Do I go and go to the doctor and ask them to give me a recommendation to somebody? Is it worth it? What do you think? Because I've been racking my brain. Just, what would it change? Also, the percentage of people with autism that have jobs is very low. I think there was somewhere between 15 to 22% depending on which person did the research, right? So that's still relatively low. Even 22%, that's low. And it's not like I've been unemployed before, but I don't feel like it was because of my communication, things of that nature. I feel like people always say I communicate really well. Well, sometimes I do say that I'm a little rude, even though I just think it's being honest. So I don't know. I don't know how I could fall in the 2.2% category while also simultaneously falling in the 15 to 22% category of people who are employed in autistic. I feel like it might be something where maybe just my personality comes off that way. But am I missing something? Are people watching this and going, "Oh, your personality means you are this"? That's really strange. Anyway, I thought I was gonna have more like depth and insight and something to talk about, but it's me just, I guess, venting and not understanding if this is real or if it's just an online like, hey, don't believe what you see on the internet kind of thing. I guess I'll go online and take more tests and see what they say today. Maybe today my personality is different and if you have taken an autism test, whether it's online or through a doctor, a medical professional, maybe post it. Let me know. The one that I read up and I looked into said it was pretty legit. People said, yep, it's the same exact test that they're going to give you at the doctor's and that it's going to give you very similar results every time you take it. So if you have one that you feel is legit, put it in the comments. I'll check it out. I'm curious to know if I'm even going to take this information somewhere, because the biggest thing for me is that it'll let the people around me know how my mind functions, but I also don't want people to treat me differently because I don't know if I believe it yet. Second, I don't want anyone to use anything against me because I feel like I'm a pretty well adapted adult who can, you know, handle my own. And I don't feel like I need to be treated differently. Hopefully, never would. But I also don't want people to use it against me in a negative way because that would be fucked up. And also, um, just wouldn't work. I overthink things, and I would always make it spin in a positive way. I hope. Also, wouldn't want it to affect my kids. You know, not in a negative way. Positive way would be cool. I don't know how. Figure something out. But that's another thing. If it's true, then it's about 50-50 chance from what I read that if I have kids, I do have a kid, one right now, two, second on the way. So essentially, one of them will most likely inherit it. Anyway, this is going really long. I'm gonna go inside now. I gotta eat. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think, and um, I'll probably read it, take it to heart, and cry. And then I'll be devastated for the rest of my life about all the negative comments I get. Thank you.